I am mixed, and a lot of people misconstrue what that means, so I'm going to clarify specifically what my ethnicities are in this video, just to preface what I am before I start ranting. I am half black and half white. My dad is Portuguese from Europe, and my mother's family comes from slaves in Tennessee and possibly the Dominican Republic. I'm not exactly sure on my mom's side. It's very hard to trace back because that is my black side. My father also has traceable roots back in Canada. Specifically, our Canadian ancestors came from France. And I would like to talk about mixed discourse on the internet, specifically TikTok, but all of y'all are under fire. All of you guys are under my scrutiny in this video because I'm not playing about this topic. Some things to get out of the way before we start is that the speed paint going on in the background is an adopt that is actually available in the Ko-Fi shop in my description. And I also take commissions, so if you're interested in that, contact me on any of the platforms, again, listed down in the description. Alright, let's get started with this bullshit because I have a lot to say. Okay, so, mixed people. Big point of contention in the Black community, especially during Black History Month with all of the, oh, you only get half of the month. Mixed people who are half Black or even 25% Black and Black presenting are valid. 100%. That is just my opinion, okay? You can hold your own opinion. I'll disagree with you, but, you know, it's your First Amendment right, alright? You're allowed to hold your own opinion. I'll disagree, of course, if you say that mixed people aren't real Black people. I am half Black, okay? I'm not 25%, but I do know 25% mixed people, and they look like people of color. And I don't have any trouble with them saying the N-word and using AAVE around me because they're Black and they grew up around people who use AAVE. So did I. I grew up around people who use AAVE and I don't use it as much, and I don't have a quote-unquote Black scent, not because I'm mixed, but because I have been super grammatical and precise with the way I speak for my whole life. I have not been diagnosed formally with autism, but I do hear it referenced a lot as a trait of autism when you grow up in an accented environment and you don't end up having an accent. I don't know, stupid tangent. I'm honestly surprised I didn't grow up speaking in AAV mostly because of my mother specifically, but I don't, and that doesn't make me any less Black. A lot of people will assume I'm white if they hear my voice. Most of my friends who I've met online that haven't seen me assume that I am white just by hearing my voice, which is a problem in and of itself, but that's more of a societal problem. I'm not saying my friends are racist and think I'm not actually mixed. They just assume that the way that I speak is more white because I sound more sophisticated, quote unquote, which is a big problem in our community as well. But going back to mixed people. People on TikTok really don't like it when you say mixed people are really Black. The comment sections on some of these videos are absurd, actually absurd, and they honestly hurt my feelings. I came across this one comment probably like days ago, maybe a week or so ago, and it actually like hurt, like it gutted me. It reminded me of when I was a kid in my poor low-income community where most of the kids in my school were Black and they wouldn't accept me. And neither would the white kids because I have an afro and I'm brown. Mixed people have struggled with feelings of otherment for so long, since we've even started to exist, to be honest with you. I've been called just white by Black people. I have been called just Black by white people. I've been called the N-word by white people and Black people alike. I've been called slurs that pertain to Hispanic people because people will assume I'm Hispanic. Because why? Because I guess I'm brown. And I'm not darker brown. I'm a lighter brown. I'll show a picture of me on screen. I am not a dark skin. I am a light skin. And I am still Black. And a lot of people fail to realize that, especially in the Black community. I'm sorry, but y'all are the least accepting. I expect it from white people to not accept me because of the color of my skin and the texture of my hair. But y'all, you guys know how it feels, and you make us feel this way because what? There's no reason. My mom is Black. I grew up with a Black parent who speaks majority AAVE. I grew up in a poor, low-income community where 90% of us were Black. And somehow I'm still not as Black because of the color of my skin and the way that I speak. It makes no sense. Just because my father is white does not mean my mom is any less Black. Another conversation that I would like to share my opinion on is the statement that Black and white mixed people are white. No, we're not. Okay? Let me calm down. Let me relax. In my opinion, mixed people who are mixed Black and white are not white. And let me explain it. The concept of being white is being a non-person of color. And mixed Black and white people, or any type of mixed person, to be honest with you, who has any part of them that isn't white, are people of color, correct? Especially people who are 50% white and 50% another ethnicity or race. Mixed people of all sorts of presentations, backgrounds, percentages, all have struggles that relate to the disparity of people of color throughout the entire history of white people being a thing. I personally have trouble finding my ancestors and where my people came from when I find interest in that and when I want to learn about it, because there was slavery in my bloodline and there was tons of immigration because my people were trying to find a better place to live. And it's not that my white side didn't have a lot of immigration, it was just documented and it was seen as okay. French Canadian people are a very common subset of people. You hear all the time about people being French Canadian, but why is it so hard for me to find where my slave ancestors came from, or where my supposedly Dominican ancestors came from, and how long ago they came here from the DR? It's harder for a lot of people with Black heritage to find where their family came from, and people want to know that. People want to know where they're from. I don't think that that's a crazy thing. Mixed people are disparaged in society, especially if they are more Black presenting. I wouldn't consider myself to be more predominantly Black presenting, but I can tell you I definitely don't look white. A lot of people assume that I'm Hispanic, and I get treated differently because of that. Doesn't help that my last name is a stereotypical Hispanic last name because my father is from Portugal, the people who colonized a lot of Hispanic countries that we now know today. So with my stereotypical Latina last name and my physical presentation, I get assumed to be Hispanic a lot. People treat me differently because they assume that I'm Hispanic. People try to speak to me in Spanish, which I find nice when Hispanic people try to speak to me in Spanish, but it is quite awkward because I do not speak Spanish. And then there's the white people who try to speak to me in either broken Spanish or assume that I can't speak English, so they just will try to get someone else to speak to me who speaks Spanish. It's really, really weird to me. Why don't you just try talking to the person first? It's strange. Either way, mixed people face racism, not in the exact same way as fully Black people or fully actually Hispanic people experience racism, but we do still experience racism as people of color. That's just what comes with the package of not being white, because mixed people are not white. Being part person of color means you are a person of color. It means you're not white. It's just plain and simple. I could talk a lot more about this topic in length, so if you guys want more of that, let me know in the comments, but that will be all for today. I am interested in talking about this discourse in terms of the N-word and the history of mixed people and our troubles in history as a whole, but unfortunately we are out of time for today. So if you guys do want more of that, just let me know. And if you're interested in purchasing either of the adopts that have been shown in this video, they are both $25 a pop on my Ko-Fi. So definitely go check that out. If you like my art style, you should commission me, which is also on my Ko-Fi and my VGen. And I will see you in the next video. Bye!